that we have a break until 2:15 and we come back to complete the
Mr. Chairman,
final
four
item.
of us
Mr.
have
Chair,
to leave for waste management. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
As chair of the group, we need to go and start the hearings downstairs, so apologies from Councillor Newman, myself, Councillor Cooper. I've no idea where Councillor Wayne Walker is. He's meant to be there as well.
Okay,
Your Worship, with respect, do you think this is really going to take this long?
okay. If it's the view of councillors, we can deal with the last item on the agenda now. We've workshopped it, and there is substantial support for it. So could maybe, with the agreement of councillors, we can finish it now? Happy to do that. So could I call to the table the officials to deal with item number 11, contributions policy, Ross Tucker and Andrew Duncan. Well, we've got half of that anyway. 2/3, fine. Andrew, you're leading on this one?
Yes, we have a presentation. This is pretty much the same presentation as was delivered to the workshop last week. I can go through that again if you wish, or just take questions, Your Worship.
Is there a desire to see the presentation again, or are you happy just to do questions?
Questions.
Questions? Okay.
I couldn't make it Friday.
I will move the recommendation formally. Have I got a seconder for that? The Deputy Mayor, been moved and seconded. Questions? Councillor Collins.
Sir, I look at the membership of the group as pool part B, and I was wondering if, granted that there's been, eventually we got to a spirit of collaboration around the table today, if it might be an idea to also include the Deputy Chair of the Finance and Performance Committee in delegating that group of people the responsibility for finalising consultation material.
Yep, that wouldn't be...
sorry, is that okay?
That's very well, thank you.
That wouldn't be unusual.
Thank you.
I'm happy to accept that as an amendment. Councillor Darby.
Thank you. At paragraph 19, it references a reduction in the subsidy from general ratepayer to greenfield developments. I note it doesn't eliminate the subsidy, so what is the subsidy to general ratepayers for greenfield developments if it is only reduced and not eliminated?
Big question. Would like to answer that one. Andrew?
So some of the infrastructure that we invest to support greenfields also provides benefits to neighbouring communities, and so some of that charge is funded from general rates because we can't put all of the cost onto the developers, even though we probably wouldn't have made the investment if the growth demand hadn't been there to provide the economies of scale.
But therefore that would not be a subsidy that remains because that benefit sits with others. This is referring to a subsidy from general ratepayers to the greenfield developments themselves, where the benefits are greatest there. So I'm just trying to get a handle, Mr. Mayor, on can we quantify the outstanding subsidy to greenfield developments, exclusive of the wider benefits that you've just referred to?
I'm not sure we can exactly quantify it. It's just one of the elements of how we cost things, reflective of the structure of the DC pricing mechanism, which I referred to earlier, and also an implication of the 30-year timing period we might look at for the overall impact of development contributions. Certainly there will be a much broader discussion able to be had on that overall impact when we report back to you in September as referenced in the report.
Okay, it would be good to have that in September. And one other one, Mr. Mayor. In the workshop, I raised a question around what DCs apply to commercial car park developments, which generate tremendous transport impacts. Where are they captured in the schedules?
They're classified under retail under Schedule 2.
Schedule 2 retail going down there, I've got that.
Yeah.
And so it's 1 Huey per 215, is that what I'm...
Yes.
Does that accurately reflect the impact of a commercial car parking building where there is short stay, massive turnover, generating a lot of impacts on local roads?
No, it's just generic
car parking that occurs in Auckland on average. So there's no differentiation between the current research we have that says short-term parking to long-term parking. And so this is the average of all car parks across time.
Okay, so, look, maybe that's something for post-consultation. And just one last one,
Councillor
tweak it.
Darby,
We can tweak
we
that.
will,
Tweak that.
we will speak to our transport planners to see if they have any information that might allow us to reconsider that, just to see if there's anything that would support a different position. So we'll check with them.
Footnote, Chris.
Really footnotes out of this.
We usually adjust the policy every year, so if information does come to light that suggests that that charge should be different, then we're able to capture that at a later date.
and one very last one. It came to my attention recently that an applicant for a resource consent for a boat shed, jetty, wharf and helipad was not paying anything in the way of rates. Would they be paying anything in the way of development contributions for a development that is a boat shed, wharf, jetty, helipad?
If it's for private use, then no, they wouldn't.
No DCs, no rates.
No, we charge on residential dwelling. We don't charge on the ancillary buildings or any other demand they may generate for residential purposes.
Okay, that
Valuation
probably
would go up, though.
needs addressing somewhere else. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Watson.
Yes, thank you, Mr Mayor. Just one specific question to do with point 16. In Albany, the new DC price will be $33,800 to reflect the increase in transport infrastructure. I'm just curious to know what that specific transport infrastructure is that would be over and above the other areas in Auckland that would result in such a significant increase.
That reflects the additional transport investment required, reflecting the growth in the area, to provide local transport investment specifically for growth in the Albany area. That add up the projects that's going to go in there. I think there's another 70 million of transport projects. That differs from other parts of the city where more or less may be required. It's case by case.
Gills Road upgrade and Medallion Drive link, they're more localised project than network, wider network benefits.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any further questions of officers? If not, are there any comments that people want to make in relation to this, which is really agreeing to go out to consult on the draft contributions policy?
Suggest we put it to the vote.
Okay, if there's no comments, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
To the contrary, no. Carried. We come to item number 12, which is consideration of extraordinary items. There have been no extraordinary items notified. Thank you very much for your patience and your endurance at the meeting today.
Thank you.
Right.